What's going on, Door-to-Door Mastery fans? This is Paul Shakuri, and in this video, we're going to uncover how to become a better salesperson knocking on doors. And I put a list together of things that you guys instantly have to start doing today. Not, well, I'm kind of thinking of doing it. No, you're going to have to start today in order to become a better salesperson. So let's dive on in. Okay, everybody, so welcome back and thank you so much for subscribing to the YouTube channel. For all of you over 11,000 people who currently are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Now, that's massive, obviously, as you guys know, in the door-to-door sales space. So I don't take that lightly. I actually take that to heart, and believe me, I understand when you have over 11,000 door-to-door salespeople who follow you, that's a lot of burden on your shoulders to get the quality content that you guys and gals need to get you closing more deals, making more money at those doors. But understand it's not just about closing those deals and making money at the doors. Because if it were the case to teach you how to just equip yourself with the right words to use at the doors, guess what I would have done? I would have just sold everybody an actual script to where, buy this script, read it over and over and over again, go to the doors, and you're going to close more sales. So if that were the case, why isn't it out there? And if it was, I'd be probably making a lot more money online than I am right now with the Door-to-Door Mastery Show. So I say this on purpose for you guys to understand that it's not necessarily just in what you say. And as a matter of fact, the majority of whether or not you're going to become successful as a door-to-door salesperson is going to be not just what you say, but the overall experience of what you do at every single door, from the mental capacity you're at, to how you personally feel, to what you say to a certain degree, but how you present yourself. And when they're giving you these objections, rejections, rebuttals, what you do to actually overcome each one, and understanding what's going on so that you're not just faced with the exact same things over and over and over again. So on my list here, the first one I wrote down is the importance of building yourself up. Now, before I get into my, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things here, and I can possibly add some more as we go through this video. I first of all want every single person who is expecting a script, who's expecting, hey, Paul, tell me the things to say to close more deals, to actually sign off, click off this video right now. Because, again, as I said, it's not just about giving you the words to say, because guess what? If it were that simple, all you would have to do is just learn what to say and go and say that at every single door. And like robots, people would say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, I want what you have to offer. It ain't gonna work that way. So the first thing I need to do is get inside your mind and understand, to be a badass closer, I'm talking an amazing salesperson converting consistently at the door, you need to understand and identify the problem. And the problem, there are a lot that we're going to uncover that you can pick out and say, you know what, I'm actually faced with this, this, and this problem. And it's going to be up to you to want to correct them, because ultimately I corrected all of them and ended up closing a lot of sales. And to date, I use that in every business that I open up and do and venture. I'm dabbling into so much with now my marketing team, and then this I've used and applied these exact same methods. And it's crazy because I had these fixed beliefs when talking to one of my big mentors online, who's actually a big internet marketer. I'm talking to him and he's like, this is what you got to do. And then I go back in and I'm like, yeah, but my business is different. And I'm going to relate this to you guys. I go, my business is different. And then I stop and think to myself, I'm like, wait a second. I'm doing exactly what my fans do. They come to me and they say, oh, I'm going to pick apart exactly what I'm going to use at those doors. Watch this video over and replay it to this part. And that, the more you hear it, the more it's going to make sense if you've been actively knocking out there. Do you understand? So here's the first most important thing I want you guys to understand. So many of you guys and gals who have been reaching out to me, you guys are saying your sales aren't where they want to be, or you're not consistent with your sales. And I already call you out on the first thing. And again, this is not a put down. And note that this is definitely in no means at all any put down. This is to correct exactly what you need to correct in order to close more deals. I ask you, I say, how important is building your self-esteem up to you? And they say, of course, it's very important. And I say, be honest with me. On a level from 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the most, and I always go on that meter, I say, this morning when you woke up, okay, how important were you? And this may sound corny. Believe me, I get it. I didn't do this at first. I did not do this for actually my first 3 to 4 years knocking. And once I started learning these things, my sales even took off that much further. So you better believe I'm going to teach you everything that I know in these videos. So how important are you? This is important. You need to realize, Paul, and this is, I'll give you inside my head. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to test what Paul's saying on a 1 month level of time frame. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to wake up every day and I'm going to start to find all the reasons why Paul is a very important person in life in general. And you need to say that about yourself. Why? And a lot of you may go and look yourself if you're not in a depression. And keep in mind, I've been in such a depression to where I even thought to myself, I'm like, dude, I was overselling and shooting myself saying I'm a great person. And yeah, I don't scam people, but nobody would want to buy from me. All that crap went through my mind, guys. It goes through your mind. Don't lie to yourself. And I know a lot of you aren't because you're door knockers. You're true entrepreneurs. So you guys really, for the most part, don't lie to yourselves. Most people say, yeah, no, you're right. I am in that category. But this self-talk, this self-sabotage, this not identifying who we really are and the importance of us being an amazing person and believing it is very important and crucial in your door knocking career, I promise you. So the first part is let's build that up. And if you can really honestly, like you're a bad person and you've lied, cheated, and stole from people, then you're going to have to work on those things so that you can become an important person in society. Because the more important of a person you come in, by the way, this is not the only thing you need to do in order to close more sales. So don't jump guns, because I know a lot of you people out there like to jump guns really quick and say, you know what, this is just what he's talking about is fluff just to make a video sound cool. But no, you better listen up. What I just said in the beginning of this video is these are the things combined together that you need to do. And the more of them you actually do, all combined, the better you will start seeing your results. So you need to wake up. And what I do every single morning is I go, okay, Paul, today is an important day for you because you are important to over 11,000 people online just in the door-to-door space. Now, forget my other software businesses. Of course, there's way more people there, but also with my corporate clients, I am an important person. You came from important people. Your dad, your mom, your relatives, your kids look up to you as an important person. Folks, the more important you are and you see yourself, the better you start to feel. And if you don't think sales is all about the feelings and emotions, the transfer thereof, and remember, what you transfer to them is very important. So would it be, again, important why you should start building some importance up with yourself? It's something we often let loose, we let go, because why? Think of it. We look online and we see all these successful people. We see all these people, making a ton of money and doing all this. And then we think to ourselves, we go, wait a second, I'm not that. We don't utilize the importance of ourselves in our everyday lives, okay? And just if you just trust me, I can explain why this video can go on even longer, but just trust me on this. It starts to change how you actually pitch at the doors. I assure you. It starts to change how your significant other, your family members see you develop and actually start appreciating and approving more what you're actually doing. Note that, okay? So the next thing is you need to learn to be the best at what you do and also accept nothing less. I posted on LinkedIn, and as a matter of fact, there's a gentleman named George in the industry who talks a lot about door-to-door sales as well, and very well-respected man. As a matter of fact, a very good friend of one of my massive corporate clients who in all of Canada and now the United States is actually ADT's master dealer. He was basically out there and he was saying, nobody cares. Well, Chris Liu, which maybe a lot of you who follow him as well on their executive team, said nobody really looks at number 2 and below. Nobody really, wants to be under number 1. And it's true. George commented on that. And I said, you know what, dude? I really respect what you do in the industry and obviously giving my gratitude back. And by the way, this is how you have to be in your office. Giving grace and gratitude back to other people. Again, don't follow this if you want, but don't complain to me why you're not getting sales. It sounds weird and crazy and awkward and strange how this would actually work and function, but if you do it, then come to me after you've done this consistently for a month and tell me that this hasn't worked. It works. It's 100% to work. I'm telling you, it's 100% to work. All you got to do is put it to work and you will reap the results. So I start giving gratitude and I say, you know what, man? You're absolutely right. I posted on LinkedIn there. I said 100%. You have to actually 100% be nothing but number 1 inside your mind. And guess what? Although maybe in 1 week, in 1 month or 2 months, you won't be number 1, at least you have a target where you're going. You're going to become number 1. Why? Because once you put inside your mind you're going after number 1, you use more of your potential, which I talk, more of your energy. You knock on more doors. You stay out there longer. You get that extra deal. You feel better, which in return comes back and turns into what? Sales, money in your account, bigger bank account, which makes you feel great. You start giving gratitude to what you do and also to the other person on the other side of that door. Remember, your clients and customers are not to be stolen and taken advantage of. Because as a matter of fact, I spoke to somebody today, which I literally wanted to go over the messenger and actually slap this person. And excuse me for getting angry, but this guy's like, oh, I learned the secret recipe. It's effing taking over accounts, lying, cheating, and stealing and scamming, and didn't use those exact words, but I found a guy who teaches me how to sleazy take over these damn accounts from other companies and lie and cheat and steal, pretty much. You're lying if you don't tell the customers about cancellations and that you're not with the same company. Well, you know what? They're still Look. If you're a takeover king like you talk about, and these customers are not 100% aware on what you do, you're not following these principles, and get the heck off my actual channel as well. And I say that with the utmost anger, because you dirtbags who go out there and you lie, cheat, and steal from people, you deserve to be lie, cheat, and steal for yourself. And every single person who watches this video needs to understand that. I take that very serious. I'm not saying you can't go over there and do takeovers. There's an appropriate and a proper way to actually do them. If they're out of an agreement or they're begging you to get out because they like your products and services and it's legal, go to town. Build value in yourself, in your brand, in your company, and what you offer. Don't lie and cheat and steal. That's how you get to number 1 and you stay at number 1. Because there are a lot of people who are currently at number 1, which I don't see as number 1. Oh, I did 12,000 accounts, 1,200 accounts this month. His office did 14,000 accounts in this summer. I can care less. How many ethical accounts did he do? Okay? Look, I teach on the Door-to-Door Mastery Show how to do this ethically. And that's why I stand behind you guys when we have potential customers who actually watch this channel and say, oh, you dirtbags who go to show up at my door. I'm like, yeah, you're right. There are dirtbags who show up at your door. But don't disrespect everybody and call them that. Because if you watch my videos, I train people how to ethically sell door-to-door so that people can understand and identify there's a specific process, which, by the way, is taught in my free video course. And if you don't already have that, there's a link in the description. So make sure you click on that to get my free video series teaching you how to ethically sell consistently at the door, reduce objections, and understand what's going on. So don't forget to grab that if you haven't already grabbed that. But you have to focus on being the best you, and as well, the best you is not to compete with other people necessarily to start if you're new. Compete with yourself. Always outperforming your best week, outperforming your best day, outperforming your best hour. You see, once you start outperforming yourself, but you have a goal at becoming number 1, things start to change for you. You start to change things at the door. and you start getting better results because now ultimately you start feeling great about yourself. So that's very important. Slumps will come, and many people tell me, hey, I'm in a slump. What do I do? How do I do that? Slumps will come. So what? Face it. Understand that these slumps are happening for a specific reason. And I will tell you, the number one reason why people get in slumps and stay in them is because they actually hit a pocket in their door-to-door sales career or their door-to-door sales week or their door-to-door sales day that they just didn't get a deal after a certain amount of time. And then what happens is they start to forget what was working subconsciously, meaning you tend to go out there, you get rejected at the doors. And then what happens? Think about this. You start to change, actually going into and diving into what I teach about, which is moving further in the sale and getting out of the comfort zone, which is just being outside on the door, and actually moving into your presentation mode, which is whether, again, depending on what you sell, if it's inside the house because you do residential commercial security, pest control in the backyard, whatever it is, solar, you need to get inside to take a look at a bill. You forget that those are the things you're supposed to do. You're supposed to push forward in a clean manner to actually ask the customer to invite you in and pull you into the property so you can actually do an in-house demonstration or presentation. You tend to forget about that. So you stay outside pitching and wasting your time doing all that stuff. So that is a big reason as to why, a lot of people get in slumps and they stay in there. But then that self-sabotage doesn't let them see that in order to get out of that actual mode. So the next thing is, I'm going to need you to write down, 5 reasons why you actually deserve to become number one at door-to-door sales. And don't take that in a rude way. That's a very positive thing. What are 5 reasons you deserve to become the best door-to-door salesperson or yet alone just better at door-to-door sales? Why? Okay, I'll tell you one. I have kids. And my kids deserve personally to live a financially abundant life or to set up something like that, because I'm choosing to become an ethical entrepreneur, going door to door and doing what other people won't do or won't stick in with. That's one major reason. Another reason why I personally deserve to actually knock on doors and succeed and be number one is because I outwork my competition. I work more hours than my competition. I put more hours into than my competition. Also, I personally develop myself every single day so that I can become a better door-to-door salesperson. Another reason why I personally deserve to be the top salesperson in my office is because I also give back to other door-to-door salespeople. I help train, teach and as a matter of fact, over 11,000. And you can just take a look here on YouTube itself, and over 11,000 door-to-door salespeople consistently. Okay, and then also on another 11,000, of course, it could be multiple mix and plus or minus on my actual door-to-door mastery list, which a lot of you guys have been asking me recently about the latest door-to-door mastery program launch. Yes, the door-to-door mastery program launch comes and it goes. So we lock it. My marketing team has now full control over that. It's not open all the time to just opening and purchasing, and there's a reason why it's been changed to that. The door-to-door mastery program in the past has been open at any time. Now it's changed to where it opens for a certain amount of time and we lock it for months at a time before ever opening it again. And the reason for that, folks, is because a lot of you guys and gals have been asking me questions, way too many questions to get back to everybody, but still, as promised, I eventually do get back to everybody. But understand that now with my software companies out there, it's very difficult. And as a matter of fact, a lot of you guys and gals have been asking me about this, like Active Knocker and such. I've really been working hard on getting the actual foundation and framework on Active Knocker to be the best possible as it can be for you guys and gals before fully launching it to the public. So I'm just going to show you a quick little thing here, and then we're going to end this and wrap it up. But let me just go to, for example, Knock. And let me just show you. Let me go into here. Boom, boom, boom. And you know what? They're doing updates and stuff like that. But you will be able to actually go in. And as a lot of you may already know, that you ask me, how is it in comparison to like Sales Rabbit and stuff like that? Every door you knock on, so you can even zoom in, like let's just say I was to knock this street right over here, you can actually tag your homes. You can go in and put like, not interested, didn't want it, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, filter it. Or if you're a sales manager, you can assign turf to your actual sales reps and say, hey, here's your turf for today. And then manage what they're doing, build proposals, and so much more. There's so much coming to it. I've been extremely busy with that. What I had to keep it so that I can focus my attention on questions from the members who actually deserve it. And I don't mean deserve it in a way because they can afford it, but deserve it because, hey, they believed in my teachings and all the hard work that I put in and all the time I take away from my family personally and friends to make sure that I give you guys the quality content. Hey, there's a lot of information also on the blog. If you go to doortodoormastery.com, you can see that there's a ton of content that you guys and gals can actually read out there about what I basically teach. Hey, this has been another awesome video. Follow what I've actually done and I've mentioned in this video. I also have a bunch of other tips that you can do on the YouTube channel. So just search for them. Be patient. Ask me and I will provide for you. Hey, until the next video, don't forget to hit and smash the subscribe button in the link in the description. If I gained your respect enough to believe that I can teach you a thing or two about the full process from A to Z on how to close more sales selling door to door, click the link in the description, grab my free video series. Until the next time, boom, live with passion, and don't forget to make sure you keep yourself at peak mental state on every single door. Later.